Welcome to this short taster session to introduce our MOCS marking training events that we are offering. This session will introduce you to the training events which are designed to help you understand the new A-level assessments and be able to mark your students' mock exams with confidence. This slide gives you an indication of the areas which will be covered by the MOCS marking training. As you can see, the training will look at the number of assessment issues, including the format of mark schemes and the use of command words in questions. The training will also consider some student answers to a selection of sample assessment questions which have been marked and commentary provided by a member of the senior examining team. Here you can see a reminder of the way in which our A-level assessments are structured. The slide also reminds you of the length of the exam papers for A-level science subjects. Our examination papers use a variety of different question styles. Here are the most common types of question which we use. Multiple choice questions tend to make up a small proportion of the question papers, with most other questions being short, structured questions, usually worth between 2 and 6 marks. The question papers also include 1 or 2 longer questions, typically worth 6 marks, although in biology these can be 9-mark questions. These longer questions are marked in a slightly different way, using a levels-based mark scheme. As you know, a proportion of questions on exam papers also assesses mathematical and practical skills. Across biology, chemistry and physics, all our question papers use command words in the same way. Our taxonomy of command words can be found at the back of our specifications. The training will consider how we use these command words and look at the sorts of answers that examiners would expect from students for some of these key command words. As well as our initial SAMs, we produced a second set of specimen papers for each of our 3 sciences. These specimen papers were available to schools early in 2016. We have now produced a third set of specimen papers, covering the A-level question papers only. These papers will be available as a secure download late in autumn 2016 for schools to use as mock exams. A number of schools have taken part in trialling these questions. The student answers have been marked, and a commentary provided by a senior examiner. The main focus of our MOCS marking training events will be to look at this sample material and to use it to gain an understanding of the mark schemes for this set of specimen papers. The training will look at some examples of student replies to the questions and see how our senior examiners have applied the mark scheme to these questions. This means that when you use these papers as mock exams for your Year 13 students, you can have some confidence in applying the mark schemes in the same way that our examiners do when marking live student scripts. One other advantage of trialling these papers is that the mark schemes for this third set of specimen papers have been altered in the light of typical student responses. This process, which mirrors standardization, allows this set of specimen papers to reflect more closely the experience of the first set of A-level papers in June 2017. Part of the MOCS marking training will look at how the original mark schemes have been adapted in the light of student responses. Here you can see an example of a student's answer. with some examiner commentary that we made available for the initial set of SAMS papers. The MOCS marking training events will allow you to explore these sort of responses in more detail. This may be particularly useful in helping you to understand the demands of the longer levels-based questions. The training will look at a selection of student responses for different questions across the paper, often looking at responses of different ability students, so that you are able to see how the mark scheme differentiates between students of different abilities. You'll have an opportunity to apply the mark schemes yourselves to student answers, to give you confidence to apply them with your own student work. Here at Pearson, we are very keen to offer you the best possible support for our Edexcel Science qualifications. We are fortunate to have 2 subject advisors for science, who will be happy to help you with any aspect of support for our A-levels in biology, chemistry and physics, as well as for any other Edexcel qualifications. Contact details for Stephen and Julius are given here. We hope that this short presentation has given you a taster of the sort of activities that will form part of our MOCS marking training events. These training events, which are half-day events, will be taking place at a number of locations, as well as online, starting at the end of 2016 and continuing into the spring of 2017. All of the events will be specification-specific, so whether you are teaching physics or biology A, Salters-Nuffield, we have the right event for you. You can find out more about the training and book a place using the link on the slide. We very much hope to see you at an event soon.